It's a lot of moving parts with me and Wayne. And it's important to me that I fix that.
I met Turk. Shout out to Turk. You little you ain't here, but you. We gon' you and we won't you. You heard me?
Damn.
Hey, we gon' with that bitch when we won't.
And the Hot Boys was you, Dooney, Sterling, and Mosquito.
Well, it was more than that, but everybody like started going to jail, started hanging out other places.
But y'all see this shit, man. Y'all see what's going on. I think No Limit won. You know, that's my honest opinion. They was more organized. They was grown up about the situation.
It finally looks like Lil Wayne's done playing the loyal soldier. For years, he rode for Birdman, defended him in interviews, brushed off the drama, and called him family no matter what people said. But now, after what went down at Complex Con 2025, that silence hits different, cold, distant, and maybe permanent. When Birdman snapped on stage during the Cash Money vs. No Limit showcase, fans thought they were in for a classic reunion, the kind of moment that celebrates hip-hop history. Instead, they got chaos. The tension that's been simmering for decades finally boiled over, leaving the crowd stunned and the industry buzzing. It wasn't just a performance gone wrong, it was a public breakup years in the making, and everyone could feel it in the air.
I understand our language, you feel me? But I got to say this for me. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Y'all know y'all can't with me when y'all wanna with me. And I just wanna leave it at that, man. Like we gotta stop sending out these mixed messages to people because y'all, you know, don't do that. You know what I'm talking about? Respectfully.
The whole scene unfolded right in front of thousands. Chaos caught live and unfiltered. Birdman snatched the mic and switched up in an instant, going from smooth host to straight aggressor. Out of nowhere, he barked into the crowd. Shout out to Turk, you a Lil Brown, you ain't here, we'll fuck with you when we wanna fuck with you. The moment he said it, the crowd froze. Cameras caught stunned faces mid-cheer, the energy shifting from hype to disbelief in seconds. This wasn't supposed to happen, not at a celebration, not in front of hip-hop's legends. Within hours, clips of Birdman's rant flooded every timeline. Fans dragged up old interviews, old drama, old receipts, trying to figure out what snapped this time. Was it ego? Was it guilt? Something had clearly hit deep. That same night, Turk went live. Calm, cool, but done with the games. No shouting, no cursing, just one line that cut through everything like a blade. Give me my percentage. That sentence hit harder than any diss track ever could. It wasn't about pride, it was about business, loyalty, and years of money that never showed up. Fans started piecing it together. If Turk's still waiting for his cut after decades, maybe the whole Birdman empire wasn't built on loyalty, but on broken promises. And while the internet erupted with theories and memes, one person said nothing, Lil Wayne. But sometimes that quiet hits louder than any statement, especially when the bond once called family finally cracks in public.
It's all love though. We ain't doing no tripping over here. It's big YNT, man. You know, YNT. That's what's going on over here.
To really understand how deep this goes, you gotta rewind way before Cash Money became a powerhouse label. The story starts in the heart of New Orleans, the Magnolia Projects, where the name Hot Boys wasn't some marketing move, it was real street history. Back in the late 1980s, the Hot Boys weren't rappers chasing fame, they were names whispered with both respect and fear. The original crew, Sterling, Donnie, Mosquito, and Terrence Gangsta Williams, who just happened to be Birdman's older brother, ran those blocks with serious weight. These were men the city knew well. Fast money, fast cars, and a lifestyle that burned bright but never lasted long. Everyone in New Orleans knew the Hot Boys weren't characters. They were reality. But the streets never showed mercy. One by one, they either got caught up or taken out, their names fading into legend. Only Gangsta Williams lived long enough to watch his little brother, Birdman, flip their legacy into a business, Cash Money Records. He turned their street rep into an empire, proof that in New Orleans, fame and danger always walked hand in hand.
The Hot Boy there was one of the first ones in the city that had a little backpack with the money and all that in the city. But yeah, his best friend killed him.
When Birdman chose the name Hot Boys for his new rap group, it wasn't by accident. It was personal. It was his way of tying Cash Money Records straight back to the streets that made him. paying homage to the original legends who never got their fair shine. That name carried weight. It was history, pain, and pride all wrapped up in one. By the mid-1990s, Birdman and his brother Slim had already built Cash Money into one of the most talked about indie empires in the South. They wanted more than talent. They wanted a crew that felt like New Orleans, raw energy, real loyalty, and zero apologies. That's when Juvenile, Lil Wayne, BG, and Turk came together, the new age hot boys, young, hungry, and ready to take over. Birdman saw dollar signs the second they stepped in the booth. He crowned them like kings before the world even caught on. Flashy cars, iced out chains, mink coats, and that stunner attitude that screamed confidence. Their albums Get It How You Live and Guerrilla Warfare turned the streets upside down, putting Cash Money on the national map. The world saw family, success, and unity, but behind the glow and the diamonds, something darker was taking shape. Broken trust, secret deals, and the kind of loyalty that came with a price.
Besides that, you got the Wayne, Drake, Nicki, the Hot Boys. Before that, the Ross, and Cali, all them niggas come from under my umbrella. Every last one of them niggas. Ain't too many niggas ain't been up under my umbrella. If they say it or don't say it, all them niggas come from me.
Birdman had the whole game on lock. Contracts, royalties, publishing, every last dollar that touched Cash Money ran through his hands. To the world, he looked like a father figure, the man who molded young talent into legends, but to his artists, he was something else entirely, the gatekeeper to both their dreams and their downfall. At first, nobody dared question him. He paid the bills, flashed the lifestyle, and made sure his team looked like royalty. In return, they gave him loyalty, real, unconditional, street-level loyalty. But soon, the smiles faded when the math stopped making sense. Checks bounced, statements didn't line up, and whispers about missing millions started spreading like wildfire. Juvenile was the first to say it out loud. He called Birdman out for unpaid royalties, refusing to keep quiet any longer. BG soon followed, accusing Birdman of pocketing profits while the artist carried the label's weight. Then Turk went down and did time, and when he came home, reality hit hard. Everything he thought he built, everything he earned was gone. Through it all, Lil Wayne stayed loyal. He called Birdman Pops, defended him in interviews, and kept quiet while others spoke out. But silence can't hide truth forever. Eventually, even Wayne started seeing it for what it was. The empire he helped build wasn't built for him. It was built off him. Birdman didn't just manage his artists, he owned their names, their rights, their freedom to move. And when anyone tried to fight back, their careers magically froze. So Wayne began plotting in silence, moving smarter than ever. Because when he finally decided to break free, his move didn't just end a partnership, it shook the whole rap game to its core.
At the time, it was impossible to have any type of genuine or real feelings. I was on stage. I was in performance mode. I was trying to think about the words for the next song. Honestly, so I was just trying to make sure he didn't say it at a time where it was my verse and I messed up a line or something.
By 2015, Lil Wayne had finally hit his breaking point. Years of loyalty, stress, and silence came crashing down all at once. He filed a massive $51 million lawsuit against Birdman and Cash Money Records, accusing them of blocking his bag and holding back what was rightfully his. The paperwork exposed it all: unpaid advances, missing profits, and even lost money from his own label, Young Money Entertainment. According to the suit, Birdman never delivered an $8 million advance or the extra $2 million Wayne was promised after finishing the Carter 5. Imagine that, the man who built Young Money, the same label that gave us Drake and Nicki Minaj, wasn't even seeing his own money. Meanwhile, Birdman was reportedly collecting checks off the very empire Wayne created. Birdman fired back, saying everything was handled fair and square, but fans weren't buying it, and neither was the industry. Wayne's frustration was written all over his face, especially as Thought Carter Fee sat locked away, tangled in legal drama while fans begged for its release. By 2018, the two finally reached a settlement rumored to be around $10 million. But Birdman couldn't resist running his mouth later, claiming he gave Wayne $400 to $500 million, a number that had everyone laughing. When they finally reunited on stage, hugged for the cameras and smiled for photos, it looked sweet on the surface. But deep down, everyone knew the truth. That wasn't real peace. It was just a performance for the public eye.
How you, man?
What's up, Moolah?
I'm Booling. How you, good?
You already know.
Yeah, man. How Lil B? How Breakup?
Man, Brian good, man. He graduated from college, man.
I know, man.
He got his own little spot, you heard me?
Man, what, man?
We'll graduate next year, bro. You hear me? You
Man.
know they all.
In the years that followed, Birdman started spinning his own version of the story, like none of it ever happened. In interviews, he downplayed the drama, saying everyone got paid and that people just didn't understand the business. He insisted he'd given Wayne hundreds of millions through Universal's distribution deals, but every time someone checked the math, the numbers never added up. Artists told a different story, one filled with missing checks and broken promises. Behind closed doors, that tension never really faded, while Birdman flaunted his wealth, hopping on private jets, rocking diamond-studded watches, and flexing inside marble mansions. The same artists who helped him build the Cash Money empire were out here trying to rebuild their lives. Juvenile, BG, Turk, names that once carried the label on their backs, were still fighting just to see the money they were owed. The image was hard to ignore. Birdman sitting in luxury, surrounded by the fruits of loyalty, while the brothers who once called him family struggled to collect what they earned. It wasn't just business anymore. It felt like betrayal dressed in designer clothes.
And I honestly say, I gave Wayne about $400 to $500 million. Drake got about $500 million, and Nicki got about $300-400 million out my pocket. No cap.
Then came the twist nobody saw coming, the return of Birdman's brother, Terrence "Gangsta" Williams. After serving more than 23 years in federal prison, he walked free in 2022, and the news hit the streets like an earthquake. Even Birdman looked caught off guard. Nobody expected Gangsta to ever come home. Once he was out, Gangsta started doing interviews, pulling the curtain back on the real Hot Boys, the original street crew that existed long before rap turned the name famous. He told stories that felt half legend, half confession, mixing truth and street memory in a way only someone who lived it could. And through it all, one message stood out clear. Birdman had built his empire using the name, image, and reputation of his brother and the original Hot Boys, but never showed love or gave real credit for it. When reporters asked Birdman how he felt about Gangsta's release, he brushed it off like it didn't matter, like his own brother didn't exist. That cold silence said everything. For years, Birdman preached loyalty and family, but Gangsta's comeback made it obvious that loyalty only flowed one way. And the man who built his legacy on brotherhood wasn't standing by his own blood.
Well, the Hot Boys, the actual street crew.
Okay.
What year did that come together?
1994, we all started hanging together, but we knew each other from, like, me and Mosquito. We kind of grew up together.
And the Hot Boys was you, Dooney, Sterling, and Mosquito.
Well, it was more than that, but everybody like started going to jail, started hanging out other places.
Almost 3 decades later, the legacy of the Hot Boys still hangs in the air. Powerful, painful, and unfinished. BG's finally free after years locked away, stepping back into a world that's changed, but still ready for his story. Juvenile keeps the flame alive, performing solo, bringing that classic New Orleans energy every time he hits a stage. Turk, meanwhile, refuses to stay quiet, still calling out the games, demanding justice, transparency, and respect for what they built together. And then there's Lil Wayne, the biggest name of them all. He's rich, successful, but emotionally distant, like a man who made peace with the fame but not the pain. Fans still hold on to hope for a Hot Boys reunion, dreaming of that one moment where the original crew stands together again. But deep down, everyone knows the truth. Some wounds cut too deep, and no amount of money or nostalgia can patch what betrayal broke. Birdman built one of the most influential labels in hip-hop history, no doubt about that. But in the process, he cracked the very family that gave that label its soul. What started as brotherhood turned into silence, lawsuits, and heartbreak. And every time another public blow-up hits the headlines, people remember what was lost: trust, unity, and legacy. Because beneath the platinum plaques, the fame, and the fortune, one question still burns bright. If Birdman still owes millions, what else does he owe that money can't ever buy? Respect, loyalty, or forgiveness. If you're still watching, drop your thoughts below. Was Birdman protecting the brand or exploiting the brothers who built it? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this story, it's far from over.